Okay, so that was not a good skull. There was like no echo to that, and that actually kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie, oh, it's cold today. Like I had to put gas in my car, and like my hands hurt from being outside. I think my car a little bit ago said it's about 40 degrees, and I don't think that would factor in the wind chill. So there have been days this month that I think have been a little colder, but at least in terms of like the degrees, but I think this has been the coldest day I've experienced so far. This is the first time my hands have hurt just from being outside. So good morning, good morning, good morning. We are almost in December. Today is November 27th, 2025. Actually, it's not. It's actually the 26th. I'm recording this on Wednesday. This is Car Talk Wednesday instead. And specifically, it's just like, look, I know I'm going to have no time tomorrow on Thanksgiving. The plan... excuse me. The plan is I think we're going to hit the road at about 8 in the morning. And then probably try to get back around 5. And at that point, it's, the sun will probably be down by the time I actually get back here. So I'm probably not going to be able to report at the lake. And because of the house situation, I'm not really going to have a room to record in. So I figured I would go ahead and get the regular Thursday video out today. And since it's Thanksgiving, I'll, include my Thanksgiving thoughts in here as well. I'm also wearing my Thanksgiving fit. I will take it off when I'm done with the video so I can wear it tomorrow, but it's my skeleton sweater because, Halloween and Christmas. Thanksgiving's the one right in the middle. I think it's kind of fitting. Anyways, I am probably going to get distracted by how cold it is. Like, I am rubbing my hands together, and I think it's kind of helping a little bit. Maybe it's just a placebo effect. But just a few of the things this week. I had my, Wizard of Oz triple feature throughout the week, which I know I had mentioned watching The Wizard of Oz last week. Actually, was that last week? Yeah, it was. So was it... Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, so is it really much a triple feature? That's right, because it was Monday, I think, was The Wizard of Oz. And then it was Thursday or Friday was Return to Oz. And then Sunday is when I watched Wickeder. But yeah, I finally watched Return to Oz. It's a movie I've been wanting to see for a really long time. I made a video on it. Short version, I loved it. This movie rules. Wickeder. Wicked is a story that I had been meaning to experience for a really long time, because I've heard great things about the musical. I know some of the songs. And then I watched part 1 last year, and I loved it. I remember even saying, I was like, this is a movie that reminds me of why I love musicals. I did not enjoy part 2. To sum up my hour-long video, it really comes down to, number 1, there's a lot of timeline issues between the events in Wicked and the events in The Wizard of Oz. And I don't know how much of that is things getting lost in adaptation because adaptation of an adaptation of an adaptation, or how much of it is the version I know is the film and the version that Wicked follows is based on the original book. So the differences aren't the fault of the source material. However, there are weird differences in kind of timeline incongruities with arguably the most famous story ever told, that specifically being the film. Those are going to be distracting. And for me, because of how common they are very distracting. I think most of the singing is very good, unless it's like Michelle Yeoh or Jeff Goldblum. I think the performances are mostly good, but that last scene between Elphaba and Nessa, for me, felt very flat. Overall, I think I don't think the concept of Wicked works. And it's specifically the fact that the entire point of the story is supposed to be, here is how the Wicked Witch of the West came to be. This is Elphaba Throp, I think is the last name. It's like, this is who she is as a person. This is how she became the character you know and love to hate. And she never truly becomes that character I know and love to hate. And while I like the character, I can see this transformation. It's almost like the caterpillar never truly comes out of the chrysalis. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to see this hammy-ass butterfly, like, do crazy fun shit. And it just doesn't quite happen. And it overall just feels like a letdown. I am glad I saw it. And it's the kind of thing where I'm like, no, like, I would still recommend that people do go see it. Like, 100% form your own opinion on it. I just didn't have a good time with it. And then Zootopia 2, I just haven't seen yet. I kind of forgot that it was coming out, but also, it's like, I knew it was coming out, but didn't realize it was already out. Like, a friend of mine saw it yesterday. Like, oh shit, I thought it came out like Friday. I need to get on that. So I don't have like a specific plan to watch it yet, but I'm hoping. I mean, I know I've got some plans today and obviously tomorrow. So maybe Black Friday, maybe Saturday. Well, excuse me, actually, I mean, I work Saturday, but I could always go in the evening. We'll see. I'll probably try to watch it soon-ish. Also, apparently there's a trailer for a new Pixar movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I was hanging out with some friends yesterday playing Kirby Air Ride. Quick pen in that. But they were just like, hey, have you seen, like, do you know about hoppers? And my brain immediately was like, no, like, what? Is this, like, a Bug's Life prequel that I didn't know I needed? And they're like, okay, so it's a Pixar movie. I'm like, wait, is it actually, like, a Bug's Life prequel? Like, yo, like, I love Hopper. Like, I would kind of low-key be down for that. They're like, okay, no, it's, like, something entirely different. And the movie they described sounded just like a combination of Avatar, like, blue people, not Airbender, but, like, Avatar and Pom Poko, and I was kind of not expecting that. I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I don't know. But, something that was brought up yesterday I thought was kind of funny. Taking the pen out. So Kirby Air Riders is so dang fun. I'm bad. Like, I am just really, really bad at racing games. It doesn't matter which game. I am always going to be terrible at it. But I find this game to be really fun. I like the speed. I like the chaos. City Trial's a blast. And I'm someone who really enjoys the Kirby franchise. So all of just, like, I love the music. I love the character designs. I love how insane the lore gets. So I'm like, you know, this game, like, it's a genre I don't particularly play, and it's one that just usually doesn't click with me, especially in, like, long stretches. But it has the exact amount of flavor that I really get into. And there, I remember, like, seeing comments to the direct. So it was just like, Sakurai, stop. You're putting too much game in the game. Like, there's so much just stuff here. And I mean it in a good way. You know, compared to ZA, which we'll talk about in a second. Where I'm like, it's just like, here's all your game modes. Here's some, like when he's talking about Top Right, like, here's something I know people don't want, but it was there. And there might be people who really wanted it, so screw it, I threw it in anyways. It's like, hey, here's this, like, goofy little gummy thing, and I know no one, like, wanted this or asked for this, but I thought it was a fun idea, so here you go. Like, I had an idea, so I threw it in the game. And even if you never interact with it, I'm not gonna feel bad. It's just, if you want it, here you go. And I just kind of love that. Like, there's that genuine love and passion for his project. And to be honest, I think that's why Silksong is so beloved. And not just like it's apparently a good game. Say apparently because I haven't played it, because it's not a game I particularly get into. I don't really like Metroidvanias. But anytime like I see Silk Song being played, like, yeah, I can just feel the passion and the love for this. And the fact that they had said, it's like, yeah, so the reason we weren't updating people on the game is we were too busy making the game. And the reason it took so long is we just kept getting more ideas and adding things and expanding it. And, now to quote Kirby, and here we are. And I think that's awesome. Sorry, my mind went blank for a second. From what I understand, Clear Obscure has that same like level of polish to it and level of passion. I think Clay said he's gonna try to get it on Black Friday, so I'm gonna try to play it. I'm so excited. I've heard this game is phenomenal. But I am currently playing something, because I am playing Pokemon. Because I had went like a week, maybe two, after my like first couple sessions, and then just didn't touch it. And it was this weird combination of, look, man, it's Pokemon. I want to play it. I know I'm gonna play it. But watching Clay play it, like, it looked boring and soulless and empty. And then when I was playing it, like, I was kind of having fun, but not really. And there's, I don't know, there's like stuff here. Like there's items to collect, there's little things to break, and there's like little side quests, but it's like there's stuff. But it's not like stuff I'm like, oh, I want to do this. But just my ADD brain goes, oh, a thing, let me do it. Oh, another thing, let me do it. Like, when I do most of these side quests, I remember the way Clay described it to me. He's like, you know, at first I thought this was super neat, and then the more of these I did, I realized these are just tutorials. And with maybe, like, a couple exceptions, he's really not wrong. And it does make it a bit more, I don't even know if tedious is the right word. Like, monotonous, I guess. It's just like, yeah, why am I doing this? I don't really care. I know how to play Pokemon. Like, I figured out how this combat system works. I know how berries work. I understand types. And, like, the parkour things are fine. And, like, the combat system is different. And it's, like, kind of cool, but it's also weird, and I think it's, like, kind of jank. And, like, I like the wild zones because I'm able to catch Pokemon, but they're pretty small, and for an open world Pokemon game, there's this fundamental lack of exploration and adventure. And that's why I play Pokemon. That's why I love Pokemon. And having a Pokemon game where that's just not a factor, I feel that. But alas, I am playing it. And I will say, the more I've played it, the more I have started to enjoy it. And I think a lot of it is just like, all right, this is not going to be one of my favorites. But for what it is and what it's trying to do, I guess it's doing it fine. I still do like catching Pokemon, even if the battle system is weird and most battles are pretty easy. I still like Pokemon battles. I really like catching alphas. I really like mega evolving alphas. And I really like the mega Pokemon fights. Though, I think the latest one I did was Halluncha. Like, not to go into spoilers. I think at this point, most people have either, like, played it or know the mega Pokemon available. But, I've done that round. And some of the alphas I have on my team that can Mega Evolve. Like, my starter isn't, but Gyarados, because I got the Alpha Magikarp, that made me happy. Alpha Star, I guess I'm going to go into some spoilers, but Alpha Starmie, Alpha Scoliope, and he's huge! To the point where, like, he had Pin Missile on his set for a long time, but because he was so big, he would keep missing the angle of his Pin Missile, which is annoying, but arguably, admittedly funny. And Victory Bell, Mega Victory Bell has just been, Alpha Victory Bell has been doing so much work for me. I love this thing. I have, sorry, I got, a little snot. I have 2 Alpha Relses, 1 male, 1 female. One I have on the Gardevoir, one is a Curly. I'm waiting on a Shiny Stone. I know I can catch an Alpha Frostlass. I am so excited for Mega Alpha Frostlass, because she is going to be so long. Oh yeah, there was a quest, which this one was a little less tutorial-y and was actually just kind of a thing, where there's this dude who's like, hey, there's these bugs that keep attacking this garden, and there's the Alpha Weedle that's in charge of them. Can you take care of it? I'm like, sure, it's a Weedle. It's level 45. Damn. So I catch the Alpha Weedle, and then the guy's like, oh, thank you so much. Well, this old man's heart, maybe now I'm almost starting to miss the thing that I thought was a pest. Do you have it in your heart to maybe give that old man the Weedle? And I looked this man in the window of his soul and said, no. Only me. I was like, no, I'm gonna keep this. So now I have a Alpha Beetrill. I don't know, so that's fun. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the party at any point, but I think that's kind of neat. Because the one Pokemon I have in my party that can't Mega Evolve is a Raichu. Because I caught Pichu early. I was like, alright, I gotta do this. There's also an Alpha Pikachu I've seen. I didn't bother catching him because I already had my own. But I'm like, the only one I can't Mega Evolve right now is one that can Mega Evolve in the future. So I guess it's kind of an investment. I do like Raichu's Mega Forms. I think they look kind of dope. I'm just really happy to see Raichu get some love for once. But, I think that's pretty much it for games. Just trying to think real quick. Is there anything else that I've played or been playing? I don't believe so. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so then talk about football for a bit. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really get to watch a lot of games over the weekend. I had, the time I spent watching Wicked was just kind of in that range, and then when I got back, we threw on Air Ride. But, oh yeah, I did talk about Air Ride, sorry. Yeah, game, really fun. This is just kind of what I noticed. The Lions really struggled against the Giants. And, the Giants have a really good pass rush, and it's I didn't see the game, but knowing how poorly they held up against the Eagles' pass rush, that doesn't surprise me. But they were able to pull it out, and now they're going to host the Packers on Thanksgiving. That is a huge game, because the Bears are in first place, and they play the Eagles on Black Friday, and that is a huge game, because that is 2 first-place teams. But the Packers and Lions are now, they're both obviously still in the race for the division, but they're essentially playing for a playoff spot right now. It's not necessarily whoever loses is out, but they're in a significantly worse position because, aside from the Cardinals, the entire NFC West are in the playoffs right now. Eagles blew a 21-0 lead to the Cowboys. They are still in first place in the division. They are still in the driver's seat of the division. But it is not over yet. Winning that game would not have clinched the division. But it's kind of it's all but done at that point. That win gives the Cowboys genuine life. And they host the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, so we'll see how that goes. Chiefs beat the Colts in OT. And so it's man, the Colts are starting to slip. I think they're 1 or 2 games ahead of Jacksonville and Tennessee. Or excuse me, not Tennessee, Houston. They're way ahead of Tennessee. But I don't think they've played either Jacksonville or Tennessee yet. So the AFC South is very, very much alive and in play. Kansas City, again, winning that game against the Colts kind of keeps their season alive and afloat. Houston beat the Bills on Thursday. I did watch the fourth quarter of that game. It was, 7-8 sacks on Josh Allen? That was insane. The Bills had this 4th and 27 conversion on a hook and ladder, which was really cool, and I loved it. But when I saw the play live, I was like, that was a false start. That did not get called. I don't love that. So I was happy that when the Bills were going to go for it on 4th and 1, it's false start got called. Okay, ball don't lie. Love to see it. So in that case, Buffalo is only a game ahead of Houston right now, who could still win the division, could get a wild card berth. The Ravens are now in first place in the AFC North, and Sanders won his first start. Obviously not related to the Ravens, but same division. So I wanted to shout that out. Garrett apparently has 18 sacks on the season. So there is a very, very good non-zero chance that he will break the single season sack record. JSN is 1,300 yards and set Seattle's season. He set the record for most receiving yards by a Seahawk in a season, and we're in week 11. That is insane. Or actually, maybe it's week 12, but that's crazy. He could maybe hit 2,000 yards. I don't know how likely that is, because, all right, 700 yards in, 6 games? That's still a lot. That's doable. Myles Garrett needs 4.5 sacks to tie the record, 5 to beat it. That's doable. That's really, really doable. And I think also I don't remember who he has. I think it's Cincinnati coming up. So that's, you can probably get a few sacks there. Tennessee, you're definitely going to get a few there. There's 1 or 2 other games I saw yeah, he's breaking this record, man. But like I said, the Ravens are now in first place. They went from 1-5, dead in the water, while Pittsburgh's just cruising, to, nope, the same record, but currently hold the tiebreakers, and they haven't played each other yet. Pittsburgh isn't out of it yet, but they're slipping. Niners beat the Panthers, so they're still, maintaining their spot in the playoffs. Panthers and the Bucks, I think they technically don't have the same records. I think it's 6-4 and 6-5. I guess the other way around, because the Bucks are 6-4, Panthers are 6-5. But they haven't played each other yet either. So Carolina is still very much in play to win this division. The Rams destroyed the Bucks. Apparently Baker got injured. I think the Patriots have the best record in the league at 10-2. But right now the Rams look like the best team in the league. But it still feels wide open. Because I'm man, I could see Denver beating the Rams because that defense is that good and their weird fourth quarter bullshit. Who knows? I could see this Patriots team beating the Rams. I could see the Rams beating both of them. Who knows? I mean, honestly, though, who knows who's coming out of the AFC? Maybe Buffalo gets hot and figures it out. Maybe someone in the AFC South becomes dominant, or Kansas City just goes, I'm Patty Mahomes and I shoot real good. And then they just click and they get it done anyways. And yeah, dude, the NFC is so congested. Again, the Rams look like the best team. The Eagles are so flawed, but even still, they are hard to beat. The Seahawks are really, really good. They've had one of their worst games of the year, and they still barely lost to the Rams. And as injured as the 49ers are, they just kind of keep on winning. Football is fun. And we are at that point of the season where it's really, really interesting. Unless you're a Saints fan, because, man, dude, the Falcons aren't good, but they still beat us by double digits. Man, we suck. But I mean, the Falcons suck too. But even still, they can still win the division. They're not out of it either. I think we officially technically are, or if not, it's like there's some like weird bullshit that would need to happen that's not gonna happen. I mean, but if it technically, mathematically can, but I'm gonna not even try to have hope with that. And then I guess just like one last thing about the week before we transition to more of the Thanksgiving-y stuff. Or maybe I'll just make that, maybe I'll just record that right after. It's like, here's the weekly stuff. Here's just like a short Thanksgiving special, I guess like video. Book stuff. So I had mentioned that paperback physical copies are now available, and that I had purchased some author copies. They have not been mailed yet. I'm a little unsure. Like, I got an update a couple days ago saying it's like, oh yeah, it's like, here's your order. Excuse me. And when I checked for an update, it just said like the shipping label has been prepared. But it sounds like, I'm hoping next week. I think they said like 2 to 5 business days, and I don't know if it's been mailed yet, and then with the holiday, that's going to affect some things. But my understanding is that their location is really close to where I live, just coincidentally. So I'm hoping by next week I will have my physical copies. And like I said, a lot of it's like, okay, this is going to a specific person, this is going to a specific person, this is for my shelf. But it's exciting to, to be able to have and like be able to hold it in my hands and all that. It did say that I had reached out to a handful of people about like, hey, could I maybe like sponsor a video, or could I like get an art commission and that you could post it as kind of a thing. And a decent amount of people did reach back out to me. Some of them were like, thank you for reaching out, but unfortunately, like, I'm not available right now. Other people did, but unfortunately their prices didn't quite work out. But there are some people I'm like, no, like this does seem like it's gonna work out. This will be okay. At the moment, no current video sponsorships planned, but a handful of artists that I am planning to commission and hoping I can get some exposure through that. We'll see how that goes. I haven't heard back from any other blogs, but the ones that I had reached out to, again, like there were a couple that were more of a, I'll get to it when I get to it, but I do plan to get to it. And some others that I'm expecting like early to mid-December. So theoretically, I would say like in a perfect world, by the end of next week, there could potentially be like, I could get my physical copies, which would make me really happy. There will be some like art commissions posted that could maybe get some people into it, and then some blog posts also with like really positive reviews that get some people into it, and it all just kind of culminates in a really nice time. And yeah, I really like that. So no, I think I'm just gonna make it one video. I think I prefer to do that. But that's my week. So the things that I feel like I'm really thankful for. So I'm just kind of looking out at the water. And this might be kind of a weird thing to say, but that's something I'm thankful for. Is that even when life gets weird or stressful or there's a lot, that there can still be moments like this where you can just sit and relax and look out at nature. You can just breathe if you need to. You can just watch like the water flowing. Sometimes like earlier I wasn't really commenting on it, but like I saw some birds like swooping down and just kind of chilling on the water. Or yeah, you might see a butterfly going around. Like there's a couple ducks over there. It was like a few weeks ago. I was out here. I think like I was just chilling and I was like sending a message to a friend, and then I heard this duck. I don't think it was on Halloween. It was like a couple days before, and it was just like and like that's the sound it was making. It was like that is the most hilarious and kind of terrifying evil quack I have ever heard. And I don't know, I kind of love goofy stuff like that. And just the kind of thing you can only really hear and experience if you're just out in nature and saying, like, I just want to sit and vibe. Like, I'm thankful that there is a God who made this, who made me, and that he's had my back throughout this year. Because I'm not going to lie, this has not been my favorite year. There have been a lot of good things, a lot of good times, like a lot of excitement. There have been a lot of disappointments and fears and frustrations and doubts, etc., etc. There have definitely been a non-zero amount of times this year where I really didn't know where my life was going or if it should keep going. And times where I was like, I just have like nothing left. I've got like no fight in me. Like I feel like I've been running on fumes and my fumes ran out weeks ago, so I don't know what I'm running on anymore. But he's got me through it every time. And he gets away that one verse in Kings. I believe it's like 1 Kings 19. I don't remember exactly where it is. But it's part of the story of Elijah. And I shared that in a separate video earlier this year. Where, like, after everything with Jezebel and, Elijah calls fire down from heaven, he's still afraid of what Jezebel could do to him. And he runs, he hides, and he prays to die. He's like, Lord, go ahead and take me. Like, I don't want to be in this life anymore. And, like, God sends an angel, talks to Elijah, like, why are you here, Elijah? And he says, why? And instead of chastising him, like, how dare you? Like, like, you prayed for deliverance and I could give it to you. Like, you prayed for fire from heaven and I showed that, and yet you still dare doubt me. Instead, it's, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, like, rest here for a bit. I want you to eat. I want you to drink. Get your strength back up. Then I want you to walk for a little bit. And this is where I want you to go. And then he does. And when he gets to that place, he gets to the mountain, he's waiting for God. And, it's like there's the big storm, but God's not in the storm. Then there's the earthquake. Then there's the fire. God's not in those either. And then in the quiet, he hears this soft voice saying, like, why are you here, Elijah? And he gives that same response. It's like, because, like, I want to die. Because I don't want to do this anymore. And God listens, and again, doesn't chastise them, doesn't say, like, really? Really? It's like, okay. This is what I'm going to have you do instead. You're going to go here, and you're going to talk to this person and this person. And they are going to help you, and they're going to take care of your problems. Because I got you. Like, it was a few weeks ago. I was going for a drive. It was less of like a vibe drive, although I still like doing those, and just more of a, I need to go home tonight. But as I was driving home, I was just kind of like thinking about some of the stuff that's been going on. Like, just a lot of the, like, work stuff, house stuff, what do I do with book stuff, just kind of a lot of things going on at once. But as I was driving and I was praying, the thing I remember saying was, like, Lord, I just pray that you'll keep me safe through all of this. I just want to be safe. And I was driving up a hill, And as soon as I get over the hill, there's just a deer just sitting in the middle of the road. So I have to slam on the brakes so I don't hit the deer. And I don't. Deer goes across the road. I'm fine. And because I was still like praying as that happened, I kind of heard that like little quiet voice that Elijah did. That just kind of said, I got you. Like, there are going to be moments where it's dark and you don't always know what's going on. And it might feel like you're really going uphill, and then when you get to the top of the hill, there is something waiting for you, then it's not what you expected, and it's not what you wanted, and it might be a problem. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be difficulties. But I've got you. I'm not going to let them hurt you. I'm not going to let you crash. You might need to slow down. There might be times where you need to stop. But I'm not going to let you crash. And something that like really resonated with me. And, excuse me, if I am being honest, for the most part, I have felt better since then. There have definitely still been some days where I'm like, it's just a lot. It's very messy in just the different areas in a lot of different ways. But he keeps getting me through it. And I am very thankful for that. I'm thankful for my support system. That's, my Lord and Savior. That's my family. Those are my friends. The people who look after me in different ways, who enjoy my company for different reasons. People who really want me around, even if sometimes I can't always understand why. It means a lot to have those people in my life. And I don't know if they know how much I appreciate them. And something where I definitely try to let people know. Whether it's by just sharing things, here's here's some memes or something I know you would like, so here's something, or just trying to invite them to things, or if they invite me, making sure I show up. Sometimes just checking in, and I probably don't do that as much as I should. I'm very, very thankful for my family and for my friends. And, just my basic necessities as well. I do have a car. It does have problems, but I do have a car that generally works. I have a roof over my head. I have a place to sleep. I have food. I have water. Don't have a lot of money, but I do have money. Even if things aren't maybe great, they're still stable. And I don't want to take that for granted. I'm thankful for that too. As to kind of bring it back to the Wizard of Oz, I'm thankful for my brains, my heart, and my courage. I'm not going to pretend to be a particularly smart person. I feel like I am of generally average intelligence. Ish. I know there's some things where I'm like, I don't know, I'm a little stupid. At other times I'm like, I don't know, I think I'm pretty dang smart. But I think it kind of evens out. But I'm glad I have a brain, even though I literally do have brain damage. That I think what I'm trying to say is that I'm thankful for my mind, that I have a creative mind, which is something I enjoy, that I'm able to look at situations and try to find solutions. That I don't have a mind that's just stuck and trapped. That it always tries to find a way out, always tries to find a way to make something better. I'm thankful for my heart. That I have a heart that's very big. And it's one that feels very intensely, both positive and negative emotions. Like, I feel like I'm the kind of person that, like, when I'm happy, like, I am over the moon. And when I'm sad, like, I am at my breaking point. But it is a heart that genuinely loves and genuinely wants to give and wants to make other people's lives better. And that is something I do really love about myself. And I am thankful for my courage. You know, there's a line in The Lion King. I guess Cowardly Lion and Lion King. There's a bit of a connection there. Which, by the way, I will say, I've come to tentatively start calling the Cowardly Lion Colin. I don't know if he actually has a name, just kind of like the CO from Cowardly and like LIN from Lion. Like, I don't know. I think that kind of works. Anyway, but a little short tangent. But Mufasa says to Simba, you know, he just says, like, being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble. But I don't know where this exact quote comes from. It might just kind of be like a general sentiment, but just like, bravery is not being fearless. It's having that fear, but still, like, doing what needs to be done. You know, it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Call it bravery, call it courage. And there's a lot of things that scare me. Something like this, like being vulnerable about my life or about, like, my writing. But I've still published a book. I've still, like, sent it to get reviewed, not knowing what I was going to hear, and heard really good things. I sent it out for other people, like, to review it and then post about it, and I have no idea what they were going to say. I have no power or control over that. And I might hear some really bad things. I might hear some phenomenal things. But I still did it. I have another one that I am, like, publishing. I'm slowing down on it because there's a lot of, like, other stuff to do on top of, like, editing it and writing it, which I am still trying to make sure of. I think what I tentatively want to do is, like, every 2 weeks put out a new chapter, which means I need to put out a new chapter Friday, which I believe is good to go, and the chapter after that I've got some substantial progress on. But to my point, it's something that I've, like, wanted to do and been really afraid of doing, but I still did it. Like I said, just kind of any time I make one of these videos, I know I mentioned, I started talking about it last year, and I mentioned it earlier this year, that I had met someone that I really cared about. Care about, it's not past tense. I haven't really said much about that situation, I think, really since, like, March, maybe April, but just to keep that short, I'm really, really thankful that I met that person and that I got to fall in love with her. Because she has impacted my life in a lot of ways. And I do feel like I am a better person for it. Like, it's weird because I'm like fundamentally the same person, but I also feel like a different person, a changed person, just because of that friendship. And that took a lot of courage, Also took my big heart. I don't know if it took my brains. The 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. So yeah, I have a lot to be thankful for. I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving. I hope you have a lot in your life that you can be thankful for as well. Hope you have lots of good food. Hope you have a good time with your family. The Saints aren't playing, so if regardless of who you're rooting for, I guess I hope your team wins because they're not going to be playing mine. I really kind of think that's it. Y'all take care.